What's up, everybody? This is Scott. Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a comparison. I'm going to do a little bit of a camera comparison between the Note 20 Ultra 5G and the Pixel 5, which just was announced this week. So it's going to be a little different. Obviously, with the Pixel 5 not necessarily being the crazy flagship level price of the Note 20 Ultra 5G, I want to make sure that I can do this as fair as possible. So what you're seeing right now filmed on the front-facing camera of the Pixel 5 is 1080p 30 frames a second, whereas right here is actually 4K in the Note 20 Ultra. So what I want to do is flip this to where both of them are 1080p at 30 frames a second. So I will be right back. Okay, so now both are 1080p 30 frames a second. So everything you're seeing out right now is the front-facing camera on both the Pixel 5 and the front-facing camera on the Note 20 5G Ultra. Note 20 Ultra 5G. That's a lot of names, Samsung. So at first glance, it looks as though both actually do really well. There's a lot of saturation right here well, I guess right here in the Pixel 5, but right here in the Note 20 Ultra, it seems that the reds are very red, a much more warm color on the Note 20 Ultra, whereas over here in the Pixel, it seems it's a little more moody. I guess color temperature is colder. The red is a little less vibrant from the perspective of red. Personally, the way it looks is I look a little more warm in the Note 20 versus a little more cold, a little more contrasty. You can definitely tell, like, from a contrast perspective in my beard and my hair. It seems as though my hair is much more contrasty in the Pixel 5 versus this here in the Note 20. So what I want to do is actually want to jump outside and talk about 4K 60 frames a second in both of these. Obviously, the Note 20 has the ability to do 8K, so I want to talk about that. Look at the stabilization, do a lot of side-by-side comparisons of the photos itself, and to let you know whether or not you should pick up a flagship level, which ultimately means somewhere above $1,000 for a Note 20 Ultra, or somewhere below that. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you can save some coin and really like the way that the Pixel 5 looks, just go with the Pixel 5. You're getting exceptional battery life. Much like in the Pixel 4a, you're getting crazy good battery life. The battery life that I've noticed with the Note 20 Ultra has been hit or miss. I'm actually arguably getting more screen time with my Pixel 5 than I am my Note 20 Ultra. And it is a significantly smaller footprint, much more manageable from a single handhold perspective. There's a lot of bells and whistles that's in the Note 20, so don't get me wrong, I really like that too. But if I can get better battery life, I love the way that the pictures come out of the Pixel. I love the way that the video comes out in the Pixel. Now, again, we're comparing, more that mid-level price point versus an flagship that was $1,500 at one point for this particular model. So let's keep in mind the fact that you're going to get what you pay for. Again, if you can save some coin, get a Pixel 5 because you like the way the video and the photos look, better battery life, or arguably the same battery life. Both are 5G. So let's just go ahead and jump outside and see what we can come up with. Now, this is the front-facing camera on the Note 20 Ultra and the Pixel 5. So you can see right here, this is exactly what you could expect. Now, one thing I will note here is I am shooting both of these in 1080p 30 frames a second. You can actually do 4K 60 frames a second from the front-facing camera in the Ultra. Now, that is definitely an advantage when it comes to those types of things. So let me go ahead and flip this into the 4K so you can see the difference. Now, I'm in like the harshest light possible, so I'm going to get out from underneath this. I am recording in 1080p 30 frames a second with the Pixel 5, and this is actually 4K 60 frames a second with the Note 20 Ultra. Honestly, the stabilization looks it's fantastic in the Note. Again, I am in like the harshest light. The sun is directly above me. There is nary a cloud in the sky, but this is what you can expect. So let me go ahead and flip this to the rear-facing camera. Now, this is the rear-facing camera, 4K, 60 frames a second out of both. And this is exactly what you could expect. So the stabilization that you see out of both of these, I actually had to turn again because the stabilization was so good out of both of these. I thought both cameras honestly froze up. You can see that me walking like this towards this particular tree, literally just using a switch pod. The stabilization is exactly what you'd expect it to be. Absolutely outstanding in both. Yes, the Note 20 Ultra does have the ability to do 8K. So let's flip this to 8K and see what it looks like. So this is actually the 8K. 8K, as you can probably already guess, does not have the same level of stabilization that you would see out of the 4K 60 frames a second. Honestly, at this point, because the stabilization was so good out of the Note 20, I would just straight keep it 4K 60 frames a second. And so with that being said, you can see the comparison between it and the Pixel 5. The Pixel 5 more than holds its own when it comes to the 4K 60 frames a second. Again, harshest light of the day. From a dynamic range perspective, I think you can see that both of them do really well in super harsh light. So yeah, what do you guys think about the video? So when it came to the rear facing camera, when it was 4K 60 frames a second, I think it was much, much closer, which again gets into my point with the significant price difference. I absolutely can live with the fact that I know that I'm going to get really good video, maybe not like Note Ultra level video out of the Pixel, and still be more than happy enough because it's arguably the best point and shoot you're going to get out of any particular smartphone camera. So yeah, I'm overwhelmingly impressed with that. Now I want to show a few photos and put up a little montage. You can see again, harshest light of the day, and do a little quick comparison between those and all slow, and also the portrait mode. Honestly, at the end of the day, I am more than surprised that the Pixel 5 was able to hold its own against a phone that is significantly more expensive and has significant more horsepower in terms of the hardware inside of it. And again, that just goes to show you, for me, that Google is a software-based company where they can take hardware that's not necessarily the top of the line and they can enhance it and maximize every ounce of it to give you such a great experience. I freaking love the Pixel 5. If money is no problem for you, then a Note 20 Ultra is going to be great. If you want to save a little bit of coin but still have a top shelf camera and video experience, you're definitely going to want to take a look at the Pixel 5. Substantially smaller footprint too. I have found that the Pixel 5 gets as good, if not better, screen on time and better battery life as compared to the Note 20 Ultra. I guess I'm one of those people that actually have a Note 20 Ultra that doesn't get like the craziest of battery lives, which in terms is whatever, that's fine. But if I'm paying that much for a device, and I would expect to have, again, a much better battery experience, but in the Pixel 5, I have a much smaller battery and have as good, same experience in terms of screen on time. Much more pocketable in terms of the Pixel 5. Doesn't have a giant camera bump on the back. Again, I'm nitpicking because both of these phones are fantastic, but you can save coin and get a top shelf experience in the Pixel 5, or spend that coin and get some crazy specs and a great camera in the Note 20. So that's it. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. And as always, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment below. We'll see you next time.